Hello, this is a presentation of ZiCaMaS case management software. What does make ZiCaMaS different from traditional registries? The main difference is that ZiCaMaS is not just doesn't provide just snapshot of or register snapshot of an event, but it is built on the concept of continuum of care. So if we imagine the entire process from the pregnancy and possible exposure to Zika virus, and then pregnancy period, delivery, and then discharge period, neonatal, early neonatal period, infancy, childhood. ZiCaMaS allows to capture all key events along this line. What it does more is that it enables to measure, to assess whether things that have happened along this continuum of care, if they were compliant with standards, because ZiCaMaS allows to set standards. So by comparing reality and comparing standards, ZiCaMaS generates a lot of analytical outputs. So simply, if we look at this chart graph, ZiCaMaS has three major functional modules. One module is setting standards. Another module is where we record each important event along the continuum of care, from pregnancy to delivery, neonatal period, and then infancy. And then ZiCaMaS is capable to analyze, comparing practice with standards, and give two types of products. One is performance measurement. We said, what is the level of coverage? How well children were covered with essential services? Whether these services were provided as scheduled, and so on. So a lot of performance indicators ZiCaMaS produce themselves, and plus it also helps case managers in real time to prevent some undesirable situations like children missing the scheduled visit, or to react on some incomplete tests or even defaulters, track them and bring to care. So this is conceptually how it, what it makes different from typical static registries, databases. And quickly we go through, I said, ZiCaMaS allows to set standards. Here are standards for pregnant women. So we set interventions, sequence, even time intervals between those interventions if we want to follow them strictly. It uses separate standards for newborn. What diagnostic services should be performed? Numbering is cross-referenced with SDC numbering NAD, and infant standards are much more complex because we have standards for catalog of interventions. We then define content of each visit at the age of 1 month, 2 months, and they're different. And we also define time ranges. Most importantly, we define also what if A or B is diagnosed. Then we define that we consider some of this A or B as a needs, and we, in the standards, we define that if this was detected or this was detected, it requires visit to a referral to following specialists. So ZiCaMaS allows to not only see whether the diagnostic monitoring has been performed properly, but also what follows this. If A or B symptom we consider requiring specific care, if these symptoms were detected through. And then we have a separate, all different sets of laboratory tests and also, say, conditions when these tests even are justified to be performed. So ZiCaMaS can always can easily assess whether when this test was performed, was it performed timely and was it justified because diagnosis before the test were A or B, and then also classification of diagnosis. So these are the way standards are set. Very simple on the one hand, but most important thing with ZiCaMaS is that the way it is designed, it doesn't require software developer to intervene. Any person can change the content of any standard. If standard change in real life, it allows you to come here and enter whatever it use. So the content can be easily modified. So standards, and now case management. In case management, let's go to the registries. In the registries, we have women, and we can check that the way pregnancy case is reported, and then the child was born after this pregnancy, and then we have register of children, and here we can see profile of a child. So again, you see for every child we record what assessment was done in neonatal stage, and then at every stage of neonatal life, there can be some child, not, this is just for demo, and you see here first visit, and we have at the first visit what kind of interventions, what kind of results, if there was a referral, if there was a lab assessment done, what was diagnosis, or why case management was discontinued. So this is briefly how the cases are registered. And most important now, case management, where we can see what are upcoming expiring visits or what are overdue visits for case manager to intervene and still help to bring the child to care, to assess data quality, whether there are some interventions attended but not results are not defined, so somebody missed this and it should be fixed. Analysis, which gives you understanding of continuum of care here for pregnancy, neonatal. So how many we have newborns, how many we assessed. We can see, let's say for 42, we have 40 newborns assessed and 2 are not. Who they are there children who at the age of 5 months developed symptoms, and that's why they missed. There was no suspicion when they were neonatal. And here everywhere it produces reports for any time period where you can see compliance with the schedule, how many children were late, which visits were mostly timely or not, or coverage with interventions, again for any time period, and it produces, you can see which intervention with the highest coverage is probably with the length and weight. Everybody's weight was recorded, but audiological evaluation or screening for autism coverage is quite low compared to others. Surveillance data, let's take infants data, and it produced then data for surveillance, ZiCaMaS. Depends on the cohort of children, and most importantly, indicators. These are predefined indicators. So if we ask and give the time frame, ZiCaMaS generates standard indicators defined and agreed by countries, by development partners. So it generates it easily. And besides, if in addition to these predefined indicators, ZiCaMaS allows to export data sets in Excel format. Let's say we want to see neonatal assessments. We can ask ZiCaMaS to export it, and all data will be exported. So then and a person can analyze this long list of data related to neonatal assessment or infant visits. Therefore, it provides additional flexibility that data stored in the database, it can be used for different purposes, for different type of analysis. That's briefly about the software is access-based, and its flexibility is also in its nature. It's accessible. Access can be modified by advanced or average users. So it creates zero dependence on software or developers, and content can be easily modified, structures done in a way that, other than changing maybe report format, even the report format can be easily modified by any person. That's in brief how the software works, what it makes different from others. Thank you very much.